Hey folks, sorry it's been a while since I've made a video. It's been a tough couple weeks of deer hunting here in Tennessee. Bad weather, bad timing, haven't gotten out that much, so that's what I've been up to. About a month ago, my father-in-law and I built a shooting bench. We actually built it for him for his birthday. So I got the idea and the plans from Outdoor with the Morgans, one of my favorite channels. I like the way Mike works and stuff, so he built a table, and I actually ended up rebuilding it on SketchUp because I wanted the plan so I could remake them. A lot of the times what I do with these items that I come up with, these building projects, is I'll make a bunch of them and sell them on Facebook Marketplace, and I strictly use the proceeds from that, the profits from those things, to buy more tools. So I built that table, and just for fun I posted that online, and I've had a couple hits on it. But I got a message from a guy who wants to drive up from Huntsville, which is about an hour away. I'm not gonna sell him the table that his dad and I made, so I'm gonna try to build another one. So I'm gonna run to the store real quick and buy the lumber, and then I will go through making the shooting bench. It's a two-man shooting bench, which is awesome. We use ours all the time, and it's perfect for it. So I'm gonna make some plans too. I'm gonna make some SketchUp plans and make it perfectly clear. Mike laid out how many, like the cut list and all that stuff perfectly on his. I think there's some minor adjustments you need to make on his measurements, but other than that, his video is awesome. I'll link that video as well, but I'll put the plans together and the cut list and everything just to try to make it clear for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, this is what I need right here. So that's the cut list right there. Alright, I'm going to take that down and I'm going to put it in the SketchUp, and I'll share that with you. I think I have a picture of this somewhere on my phone, but I want to make sure. Alright, let's go build it. Let's do it. Well, it's late the next day. I was going to get working on that shooting bench early today, but I woke up feeling so sick. I thought I was done for. But anyway, I'm feeling much better now, so it is time to get working on that project. Ash, you coming? You wanna go outside? Yes, he does. All right, let's get to it. Let's start making some cuts, and I'll show you the cut list and do everything like that. We just moved into this new house, as you can tell from the walls not being painted and whatnot, so I don't have a good workbench set up, so let me set one up real quick. Dust goes, it'll be by the entrance, and I can just sweep it out. Okay, we're making some progress on the cuts. That's the pile so far. We got, what do we got? 43, 25, 20, 17, I don't know. We got a bunch of different dimensions. But I won't bore you with any more cutting. I will touch base when we're ready to start putting stuff together. Well, I got everything cut up, and it looks like I bought an extra board. Here, an extra 2x6 by 8. The first step after cutting all your pieces is you're gonna make two squares, I guess rectangles, 43 by 25. So you're gonna grab two 43s and two 25s. Make sure to have the 43s on the long side. So I'll put those together, and then you'll see how it comes together. Alright, one down, I'm gonna just make together. One thing I found about doing this is I like using a drill rather than an impact for these. One, it's quieter. Two, it just seems smooth. I don't know. Okay, so we're on the point where we have our two boxes. So now to connect them, we're gonna take a 35-inch board. I'm going to tip this thing back, just like that. So what we're going to do here is add supports like this. Now our base is complete. So now from here, we'll start to build out towards the seating. Okay, so next step that I like to do, take your 3 pieces of the 2x8x10, and we're gonna start making the seat. How we're gonna do that, essentially it's gonna go like this. 20-inch will hold it together like so. There's a couple ways you can do this. The way that I tend to do it. Now in order to do the correct spacing on this, just grab another 2x6. Space it like that. That'll be fun. Add another 20-inch piece on the other side. And we're going to center this of this span. So this is 43 inches, and then this is going to be 10.5 inches. Half of that is 5 1/4. We'll find 5 1/4 on this, and then half of 43 is 21.5. So we'll mark those spots on there. Need better lighting in here. Okay, there we go. Remember, at the end of the day, this is going outside. It doesn't have to be perfect, so if you know that's not perfectly lined up, you're gonna have boards going over this, so you're fine. You can see it's really come together. It's starting to take the shape that is the shooting bench. So next up, we're gonna make this seat right here, and then we're gonna add some cross braces right there. Diagonal braces in between there just to stiffen it up a little bit more. And then once we get the seat done, then we'll finish off the top. All right, so a trick to get started building the bench. So it's gonna have a free floating port on the inside. So what I like to do, especially when I'm building it by myself, is take the scrap of the 2x6x8, and I'm gonna just sit this down. So I cut this to 11.5 inches, and I'm gonna set it down in here, just like this. Like that. And then that way, when we're putting our support on, we can just have it sit on top of it, just like that. We can find the center easily. So we'll just leave that just like that and find the center. 22 inches. This is a 44-inch piece, so we'll find 22 right there. And then half of 7.5 is 3 3/4. So we will mark a spot right there. Now we can lose our support here if we can even get it out. Alright, the last part of the bench, what you're gonna do is you're gonna just lay down pieces like this, 17 inches and 17 inches right over here. So lay these last two 44s on the ground and then square up the 17 inches like that and screw it all together, and then we'll put it on right there. So we got the other side of our bench right there. And then 3 3/4, which is the center over here. Before I forget, I need to trim this board here down to 40 inches, and then I'm gonna add it across the middle for some bracing. Alright, so here on the seats, the spacing that I did, if you can see, I lined this up, just made this flush, and the overhang that I had was 4 inches on the front and 3.5 on the back. I'm just gonna kind of feel this one out. I got that first one put on with the specific measurements, and I'm gonna probably do on the end the same way. Well, I know for a fact I am. And then for the middle two, I'm just gonna try to line it up the best, and I'll leave some space in the middle for water to fall down and whatnot. You can ultimately put cushions down or whatever you want, but I think a wider base is better anyways. So yeah, you don't have to have any specific spacing in between these boards or nothing, just get it on there. Alright, so I put the supports on either side quickly. So now we're moving over to the top, which from end to end this way is 48 inches. So cut everything in half and lay it out on there and make the necessary trim cuts. So I got the first two boards lined up. I just used the center line that it already had on there and put them together. Had to clamp it just to keep these boards together at the end. So once those are in, you just fill in the spaces on the outside. So for the last part, I'm just going to cut these rest of the deck boards into half so they're more manageable sizes, and then I'm going to fill in the outsides there. And then that way I can just take a pen and mark off the lines once it's squared up at the end. I'll show you again. With the wood hanging over, you just come up under here, you just trace it out. Well, folks, that's a wrap on that project. All in all, it probably took around 2 hours. With filming, everything takes a little bit longer, and I had to run to the Home Depot a few times. So once I got down to it, I would say 2 hours. You could knock this out. I've built one before, so I kind of had my way around it as well. But yeah, so without further ado, this is the final product. Ultimately, it's a really easy project to complete, and I threw the gun on there just to give you an idea of the size of it. So that's a full-size 30-06. Just to give you an idea of the height when you're sitting here, you know, you can comfortably aim down your gun, whether you're shooting uphill or downhill or whatnot. You can adjust the table bag, cement blocks, or whatever you have around under the different sides of the table to tilt the front out, level it, whatever you need to do. But it is pretty heavy, so if you're gonna move it around, just know you have to most likely use a trailer. It's perfect for shooting rifles. I shot my shotgun off of it as well. You have 2 seats, so whether you're a lefty, you can sit over there, righty, sit over here, and it's plenty of space between on the seats. So if you're a bigger guy or gal, smaller guy or gal, it doesn't matter. You can fit easily. What we do a lot of times, Hannah shoots lefty, so she sits over there. What we'll do is we'll have a spotter on that side, and it's real comfortable. You can put hooks and stuff on the sides if you have bags or whatnot, and then you have a lot of space under here, because you got to remember that your feet won't be inside here, so you can even close this off or add a little door for storage if you keep it out at a piece of property like we do with cows and stuff around it. You can close that in, make a door, keep some targets or whatnot in there. But it's a real great table. All in all, I ended up buying an extra 2x4 or a 2x6. So I think the total price, I screwed up buying screws. I didn't see that they had a 5-pound box at Home Depot, but it was in the wrong spot. So, I mean, ultimately, I think it's probably 160 bucks all in all to build this. If you have all the tools and whatnot, it's a good little table. So I'm gonna try to put together some sort of document that lays it out. I mess around with SketchUp so I can try to make a 3D model with all the dimensions of every little piece. And hopefully that helps some people out. And gotta thank Mike Morgan from Outdoor with the Morgans for making a video about this, because that's where I got the plans. This has been a game changer for shooting out at the property. So if you have any questions or anything, just leave them in the comments. Yeah, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. It's New Year's right now, so I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year and say hello to all the new subscribers and whatnot. All right, Happy New Year, everybody.